Everyone, this is Cathy Skipper from Aromanosis. I just wanted to pop on for a couple of minutes to talk about an oil that I've been working with recently, and I thought it might be interesting to share some of what came up with you. So it's Ylang-ylang extra from Madagascar that we received a couple of weeks ago for the Cathy's at our site. So first of all, before working with the oil, I didn't really have much experience of Ylang-ylang at all. I'd used it in a lube some years ago and liked its sensuality, liked its ability to get me into my body, but that really was it. I'd also smelt a few Ylang-ylangs that I didn't like, that I found sort of heavy, sickly, thick and heavy. So I hadn't really paid any attention to Ylang-ylang, and then there came up this opportunity to have some, and because I know the source and I knew where it was coming from, I thought, well, let's try a little bit. And I was so pleased when it arrived to find this elegant, fine, beautifully light version of Ylang-ylang in a way. It's so, yeah, elegant is the word, and not heavy and not sickly. Anyway, I decided I was going to work with it. So I put the other oils that we'd ordered out of the way, and I concentrated on the Ylang-ylang. I felt a sort of connection to it. And one of the first things that it did was it emphasized what we usually say in Aromanosis, but it really emphasized it for me because, the idea is that if you want to work on your own soul healing or mental, emotional, spiritual health with oils as allies, we have to really honor, first of all, have good quality oils, and then honor the oils as also having a soul, being alive, so that there's a relationship. The healing is actually a relationship where we allow the oils to guide the way. The plant medicine guides the way. That's what we're asking. We're asking their help. We're asking their wisdom. We're asking their communication skills within ourself, within our psyche. And I really realized, I don't know if you can say that, but I really noticed that with this Ylang-ylang, any sort of preconceived ideas or stereotypical views I had over this oil, instantly I had to let them go, because that was, it's so reductive. It just keeps the oil sort of in a box, and there's so much more to these aromatics than we can even imagine. That's what I think, so by saying this is good for that, this is good for that, it's helpful at first, but really what we're looking for is a unique and beautiful, alive relationship between the oil and the person using it for healing. And so what I wanted to just share with you was that this oil took me to a place within myself and revealed a part of my shadow that I don't think I would ever have imagined could have happened as intensely and in the way that it did, as one of the biggest healing moments of my journey. It's something that I think could have happened with psychedelics, and it's interesting because Florian often says that the psyche, reacts very similarly to oils, aromatics, as it does to psychedelics. So I really felt with the work of the Ylang-ylang that was true, because I left it by my bed and I've been working with it, and I went to sleep, and then nearing the morning, I got to a place where I was sort of in a liminal space between dream and awakeness. So part of me was definitely awake and witnessing, and another part of me was experiencing. And because this didn't feel like, a proper dream, I knew there was part of me that was there and conscious. It felt more like my unconscious was bringing up something for me, helped by the Ylang-ylang that was ready to be integrated, something deep from my shadow. And it was terrifying. I mean, I don't think I have to go into the details, but it was a part, what the Ylang-ylang, which is a very feminine oil, you can't deny it. It's very, very feminine. But what she actually enabled me to do was, or what she did was unlodge this huge hidden part of my feminine that had been kept in the shadow for some generations. And at first, this part terrified me, because well, at first I thought because she was terrifying, but actually I later realized she terrified me because she was from such a deep part of my shadow, and that I'd been brought up over the generations to be so shameful of this part that it was terrifying. So first of all, the Ylang-ylang triggered this. It went so deep into the feminine that it enabled a huge chunk of myself to come through, and over the days that followed I was able to integrate it and feel a lot more whole. It was a missing chunk. It wasn't just some little shadow information. It was a huge chunk of myself and of my journey through the work that I do on the motherline and decolonizing the motherline. It really was one of the missing pieces, or it could be the missing piece, full of energy. I wrote in a newsletter about it this week, and I first thought, I called her the she-devil, but in the she-devil there's a lot of energy, and she was the she-devil. What came up felt like the she-devil, but really it was my fear that created the devil. She was definitely a she, and the energy was huge. So that was great. But it didn't stop there. The Ylang-ylang also helped me in the integration process, which was to really honor in a very humble and sensitive way this part of myself and help me to integrate it. Again, I don't think I need to go into the details. And that integration was to do with honoring this part that came from the earth, that came from a deep connection with the nitty-gritty of life. You could say the shit of life, the Kali energy, the she who drinks the blood. There's something very, very powerful over this energy. It had been in the dark for so long. So the integration process was also helped by the Ylang-ylang. It wasn't, with some plant journeys, you work with a plant, something happens, and then you feel it's over. But really, the Ylang-ylang helped me to go through the whole process, and is still helping. So they call her the flower of flowers, and for me, really now that connotation is about the flower as a sexual organ. It's this opening, this beautiful ultimate energy of the plant. You get the roots, and then there's a shoot, and then the stalk, and the vegetative part, and the culmination of a plant cycle is the flower. And really, that's this piece that the Ylang-ylang gave me was the culmination, and it is the flower. It came from the dirt. It's the poorest of the poorest part of myself and my lineage, but she holds the energy, and that's really what the Ylang-ylang was able to help me contact. And I think maybe it's like the feminine. We see the exterior. Is a woman beautiful? Is she sexy? Is she this? Is she that? We look at the exterior, like the flower. We see the beautiful flower, but what's inside? What really is the depth of the feminine? And like Kali, or the black dark goddess, the depth of the feminine is also in the darkness. It's also in the earth. It's also in death, and in the shit of life. And I think it's time for all of us to integrate the part of the feminine, men and women, that has been sometimes hiding out and sometimes repressed through shame. So there we go. I hope that makes some sense. I'm still integrating it myself, but I wanted to just, hands up to Ylang-ylang. I mean, who would have imagined how much power she really has as a deep feminine healing plant. So lots of love. And if you like these little conversations about aromatics and soul healing, please sign up to our channel, and check us out at aromanosis.com and cathysatos.com. Lots of love.